Did you know that tarot cards can be used as a tool for self-development and emotional processing? In today's video, I will show you how to use tarot cards as a way to review your subconscious limiting beliefs and move towards the life that you want to live. My first time touching a tarot deck was in 2020. That's when I started reading it, and since then it's been an on and off practice. My favorite way to come back into it is through implementing it in my journaling practice. I find it useful when I'm trying to work through feelings or life experiences, either good or bad, and in the past it has helped me discover fears that I didn't know I had, and it has also helped me realize how past situations might have created some limiting beliefs for me. You don't need to believe that tarot can predict your future for this to work. There are so many ways to use tarot cards in your journaling, and you can also use oracle decks or other divination decks. I just personally prefer tarot because I feel like it gives me the greatest range of cards and topics to talk about. Also, just to clarify, we're implementing tarot in our journaling practice and not journaling into our tarot practice. I know it sounds confusing, hear me out though. I do also journal about my readings. I have a specific notebook where I paste the cards that I pulled and write about each one. I can make another video about that if you're interested. But today we are talking about using tarot as a way to process your emotions. So the tarot is guiding your journaling practice instead of your journaling practicing guiding your tarot practice. It'll make sense, I promise. In no way do I want to dismiss the spirituality of tarot. I think it can be a great divination tool. I know that a lot of readers use it as a connection between this material world we're in and the spiritual world. But I think it can be more than that if you'd like it to be. Let's talk a little bit of psychology for a second. One of the most common cognitive biases is confirmation bias. And in simple terms, this refers to how we tend to prioritize informations that confirm our existing beliefs instead of fairly looking at the evidence that proves our beliefs wrong. For example, let's say that I believe that every time I use this pen on an exam, I get an A+. Out of the 5 past exams that I took, I got an A+ in 2 of them, but not in the other 3. My confirmation bias will make me look at the 2 that I did get A+ to withhold my belief, instead of acknowledging the 3 that I did not get A+ on. Sometimes we have beliefs that go so deep that we can't even actively acknowledge them. Let's say that deep down I believe that my relationship will not work. I am not admitting this out loud, but every time my partner does something wrong, I get more and more unhappy, despite the fact that they're also doing things that are right. So in this case, my confirmation bias is making me focus on their mistakes because that is fuel for my internal belief that that relationship will not work. So here's where tarot can come in. It can be a great mirror for your subconscious mind. It can show you any limiting beliefs you have, it can show you fears, it can show you dreams or goals that you still have not worked towards. It basically can show you anything that you still have not had the courage to admit to yourself. Have you ever heard of shadow work? This is kind of where we're getting at. Shadow work is a spiritual and psychological type of self-exploration that looks into the deep, hidden, repressed parts of your personality called your shadow self. These aspects of your personality that you hide and repress, they don't really disappear, they just remain acting through your subconscious mind. So you might not intentionally act in ways that you want to. You might unintentionally project your fears and insecurities into other people, you might self-sabotage, or you might make a big deal out of something that seems small because you got triggered. When we implement tarot in our journaling practice, we have better access into our subconscious mind, which means it's easier to access our shadow self and to work through our limiting beliefs. Here's a 3-step way to use tarot when journaling. We're going to start by picking a card. Ask your deck, what should I journal about today? And pick just a single card. The first step is you're going to reflect on how does this card make you feel. Don't Google it, don't look at the booklet, even if you still don't know all the meanings of the cards in your deck, that is okay. You're going to look at the card and you're going to see how it makes you feel. You know ink blot therapy where they show you just a blob of paint and ask what you see? This is kind of what we're looking for here. Tarot is full of art, color, characters, symbolism. Do you see yourself in these characters? Do you see your loved ones in these characters? Are any of the symbols connecting to you in any way? Sometimes just looking at the card can tell us something about our limiting beliefs or our subconscious mind. If you have an emotional reaction to it, ask yourself why. I recently had a reading where I pulled the King of Swords. This may not look like much, but 2 things about this card. First one is that I have the superstition where if I see a single crow, that means I'm getting bad luck or bad news. And then the second one was that there's a dragonfly right there, and I have a special connection to dragonflies. So before I even thought about the meaning of this card, I had already had an emotional reaction to it. In this step, you're going to put on a 5-minute timer, and you're going to write a stream of consciousness of your initial reactions to pulling this card. 5 minutes might seem like too little, but that's exactly why we're doing it, so it's not too intimidating. And if you do end up moving past the 5 minutes, that's even better. But start with at least 5 minutes. If you're not familiar with the stream of consciousness type of journaling, your job is to just write. Do not let the pen lift from the paper for more than 3 seconds. You just gotta keep writing. Write everything that comes to your mind, even if it's, I'm hungry, or this fly is annoying me. Just write, and hopefully something will come out. This non-stop type of writing allows us to just dump everything that is in our mind. If you reach a flow and end up going past the 5 minutes, by all means, please do. If you feel stuck, we can move on to the next step. In step 2, we are going to reflect on the general message of the card. Here's where you're allowed to look up the meaning of the card or go a little bit more in depth in your analysis if you're already familiar with the cards. Did it align with what you initially felt? If not, why do you think that is? Sometimes our initial reactions can surprise us, and then we'll have something to write about from that. A card that is traditionally positive can sometimes make you feel uneasy, or a card that is traditionally negative can be oddly comforting. I've lost count of the amount of times I've pulled the Tower and felt some weird sense of relief because deep down I knew that I needed something in my life to change. So that mismatch is often the most useful part in showing us what we're truly feeling deep down and might not want to admit. And now we can finally move on to the most fun step. Step 3 is create a prompt. We are not going to Google a prompt. This is not what tarot is about. We are going to connect with our inner self, and what you're meant to write about will be shown to you. Maybe you'll just write about the fish in the background. Maybe you'll steer away from the card's original meaning. Point is, tarot makes us feel something, and journaling helps us process our feelings. I have 3 ideas to guide your prompts. Number 1 is a stream of consciousness. If you want to just continue that stream of consciousness that we started, by all means, please do. Keep writing until you have nothing left to say. Things may come up that you might not be expecting. Doing a stream of consciousness based on a card is a little bit easier than just free writing with no prompt. So if it's working for you, keep doing it. Your second option is write a letter to this card. Now, this idea might seem a little silly, but it's helpful if you want to work with your creativity. Just write a response to this card. It can be whatever you'd like, the structure, it doesn't really matter. It could be an apology note, it could be a gratitude card, you could write some advice for the character in the scene. However that card made you feel, write a letter to it. For example, let's say I pull a card and the first thing I think about is someone that I've hurt. Maybe I'll write an apology letter to them. Or I could pull a card and the first thing I think about is just how much I can relate to it. Maybe I'll write a thank you note to the card talking about how I feel seen and how I can relate to it. The third option is write about something that you experienced that is similar to this card. Can you relate to this card in any way? How? Is there a story that it reminded you of? If yes, you could write about the story. You could talk about how it made you feel. And if you can find it, write about any fears or limiting beliefs that came from your experience living this story. The fourth option is write about where in your life this card does not apply right now. Does that bother you, or does that relieve you that it doesn't apply in your life? Did you pull the 3 of Cups and got a little annoyed because you feel like you don't have the greatest social circle right now? Write about that. Did you pull the Death card and got nervous because you feel like your life is on the up and you don't want it to change? Write about that. Writing about how a card does not align with your life can either bring up issues and fears or feelings of gratitude that you still have not acknowledged. And the fifth way is create a prompt based on the meaning of this card. This is my personal favorite way to journal with tarot. A single card can give you dozens and dozens of options for prompts, but the one that matters most is the first one that comes to your mind. Maybe you'll pull a very positive card and you want to write some gratitude for it, or maybe you'll pull that same card and you want to write about what's blocking you from receiving that blessing in that card. Let's say I pulled the Sun. Some prompts could be, in which areas of my life do I feel most abundant? Or when do I feel most creative? Or even how can I raise my confidence to achieve my dreams, to manifest my dreams? It could also be something like, am I allowing myself to enjoy the good things in life? Or how is my negative mindset stopping me from receiving blessings? So there are countless ways that you could develop prompts, and what matters is the first one that comes to your mind, because then that is the one that is right there and the one that you should write about first. You could write about other ones after that, but do the first one first. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think. I hope. If you want more prompts based on the meanings of cards, I'm doing a series on TikTok where I give you one prompt a day for 78 days as we go through the entire tarot deck. So click the link in the description if you'd like to follow along. I hope you're feeling inspired. I hope this helped you in any way. If you do try implementing tarot in your journaling practice, I would love to hear how it goes. And remember, you can do this with oracle cards too. It doesn't have to be just tarot. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.